Hello, my name is Kelly Bluen. I am a certified Zentangle teacher. Welcome to 15 Minutes of Zen. In these videos, I show you one tangle using the Zentangle method of drawing. Today I've got my Micron pen. This is a PN plastic nib pen, a little graphite pencil, and a blending tool. And I'm using my 2" by 2" bijou tiles. These are from Zentangle.com. So this one is called Any by Elena Babayants. And I just love this one because it's so easily repeatable and it's non-representational. It's just like a classic tangle type pattern that can be very relaxing. So I think you're gonna love it. Okay. We begin by making some circles, and you could make them in some sort of a grid, but I'm not going to. I'm going to let mine just kind of be free-formed wherever. And I'm not going to put a border on this one today. So I'm going to put one here and one here. Maybe up at the top. I'll put one over here for now, and then I'll show you what we're doing before you add any more. Okay, so we're going to take any two circles. I'm going to do the two up here, and we're going to draw a straight line between them. But when we draw that line, I'm going to lift my pen in the middle and give it a little break in the line. I pushed down so lightly. And now I'm going to do some curves this way. And I can do solid lines, I can do a little break once in a while, or I can do it every time, it doesn't matter. But I'm going to go light on my pencil in the middle. But when I leave the circle, I'm going to go kind of heavy and then light, 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 heavy. If you don't do that, it's okay. So I'm going to push down kind of hard, a little bit lighter, and then hard again. And see how that just gives that thicker line where it touches the circles. I'm going to do another one. I'm going to go pretty close to this one. Light, 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 and then harder. I'm going to put one in here because I've got kind of a big space. It's very slight, but you can see how I've got thick, thin, thick. And I'm going to start sort of bubbling out a little bit, so it's not just like a rainbow where it goes from here to here, but it kind of goes out a little bit and then sort of tucks back in. And I'm going to stop right there because I bumped into my next circle. Now I'm going to continue on the other side with that same technique of pushing down, lifting up, and then pushing down as I get closer to the circle. And I'm going to do one more and go right up against this edge and back in. Okay, now I'm going to connect these two. So I start with that straight line in the middle. I'm going to push down kind of hard, light lift my pen. And I'm going to go this way towards the middle of the tile. Hard, light, light, dark. Do little breaks if you want, and sometimes breaks happen naturally. If you're doing a really light pen line in the middle, your pen just sort of lifts off the paper. And sometimes we'll give that little sparkle. I'm going to do a couple of more because I want to get sort of that bubbling type look where it comes out a little bit. And then I'm just letting the other side bump into that one. I'm going to go the opposite side over here. Trying to focus on pushing my pen down into the paper when I begin and when I land. And now I'm going to continue around here and just let them stop at the edge up here. So I'm going to go like this. And I'm not doing a hard landing because there's no circle over there. I add a sparkle once in a while, which is lifting my pen. And look at how neat that starts to look with the darkest areas around the circle and then these lighter areas. And if there's spots where you want to add some more thickness, you can always go in and push your pen down and give it a little bit of extra weight on some of those lines if you want. Okay, I'm going to put a circle up here. I'm going to make it kind of large just to change, make it different than these two small ones. And I'm going to start with this one here. There's no right or wrong way to do this. And because this is non-representational, we're not attempting to make any sort of realistic item. We're just drawing for relaxation. So it doesn't matter where your things land or fall. Nobody's going to look at this and think that you did it the wrong way. I promise you. So I'm going to do this one. I'm going to do that straight line across. Trying to remember to give it a little bit of pressure at the ends. And I really like that effect of it kind of bulging out a little bit. And I'm going to go the opposite way and just sort of play with it landing in here. Actually, I think I'm going to go this way. Let's try that. I'm going to do this one. then I'm just gonna see, like if I do both of these, they're eventually just gonna bump into each other. And I just made a few lines going off the edge here. Just because I don't have a border, I kind of like these lines just going right to the edges. I'm gonna do a few more this way. Pushing down hard. There are other tangles that are similar to this, but I like this one because you start with the circle. Instead of just starting with a line and putting in the curves, you come off of these circles, which just sort of helps it give it its own personality, and it kind of takes its own shape. I'm going to put one down here and connect these two. Another thing when doing this is on here, I made my lines just stop at the edge. This line stopped, this line stopped. Over here, what if I play a little bit with it like tucking back in? See how I'm tucking it in instead of just stopping at the edge? And that gives a really neat little technique. Or a really neat effect. I'm gonna do it on this side as well. See that? It looks like it's kind of bumping into it and squishing together. I'm gonna do one down here and connect these two. I'm going to keep going all the way around this circle. Just kind of making it up as I go. And I'm going to do a little bit more on this one here. That effect of starting dark is so effective. I think that one is so fun, and I feel like every time you make it, it would turn out different. So we need to do a little bit of shading, and I'm going to leave this space over here open. You could fill it with another pattern or keep going with this one, but I'm actually going to do my artist chop really big on this. I've never done that before, but I just think it's kind of a fun little space filler. That looks pretty cool. You could always embellish it with some fescue or some flux or some more orbs as well. And we're going to do a quick little bit of shading and then we're going to be done. So to shade this, I'm going to go around each circle first. So I'm putting graphite right against the circle. It's sort of reinforcing those dark lines. And now when I soften that and pull it away a little bit, it gives this beautiful shading effect. This circle goes right up against a line, so I'm not going to shade it that way, although I could, but I'm going to choose not to. Look at the depth those circles have now, like they're pushed down, like a little push pin in a tufted pillow. And then lastly, I'm going to take my graphite pencil and I'm going to find where each piece tucks into another, okay? So I'm going to start with this first one up here. See, this one right here was kind of that first one we did. Over here, these lines are tucking in, so I'm going to give those a little shadow. And over here, we have a whole bunch of different lines tucking under. So we're going to put that shadow on that outside of that line, as if those are tucking down under and getting some shade. This one here, I've got a lot tucking in on this side, so I'm going to go on the outside. And over here slightly. Let's see, this one over here overlaps. This one tucks under. You always shade on the side that is going under. Like if you were going under a bridge, you'd have a shadow on you. If you're on the top of the bridge, you're not going to have a shadow. I think that's about it, except that I'm going to go along this outside edge of my whole tangle as well. Give this background a little bit of a shadow. And I'm going to keep my circles nice and white, but of course if you wanted to embellish them or turn them into little buttons or bubbles, you could. But this is the Tangle Any, and I really, really enjoy it. So have fun, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.